Bring it on with 40 to 70% off almost everything at Gap Factory and gapfactory.com. Matching styles for the family are on sale too. Shop it all through April 12th.
Spring it on with 40 to 70% off almost everything at Gap Factory and gapfactory.com. Matching styles for the family are on sale too. Shop it all through April 12th.
You have to be really intentional about putting a team together.
Crawled out of the pound and started screaming.
How good is Joey Bosa?
Herbert, rolling, looking, throwing, end zone, touchdown, intercepted. Derwin James. Derwin was there.
You got to be on a mission every day in the NFL. But even more than that, you got to be on a mission together.
Great hands, Keenan Allen.
The Los Angeles Chargers select Rashawn Slater.
Asante Samuel Jr.
That was late. Oh, I'm stopping y'all boys. I can't catch it.
Intercepted. Picked off by Michael Davis.
Explosion. Explosiveness from Eckler. There's Murphy. Boy, he blew that up, didn't he? It is picked off. Nasir Adderley. 50-50 ball is 100%. Mike Williams.
Ojeda, Nwosu, and that will end it.
Time to bolt up.
Welcome to another edition of Chargers Unleashed. Jake Hefner and Dan Wolkenstein here with you from the LAFB Network. Today's show, of course, is being brought to you by Charger Bolt Family, UFC Fit, Brewery X, and Manscaped.com. Make sure you use the promo code LAFB20 for your next purchase. Go to Manscaped.com for more details. Dan, it's a Monday, day after FanFest, and I real quick just have to give you kudos because you, sir, have been working overtime over the last week, attending several Chargers practice, including FanFest yesterday, and got to give it to you, sir. You've been doing the dirty work out of the two of us as far as being there, supplying the videos. So thank you very much, sir. But hey, quick before we get into it, how was the experience? How was it yesterday at FanFest?
Man, excited to be here. Yes, I'm a little exhausted from the last few days, but FanFest was so worth it. It was so fun to see all of the Bolt fam out there, loud and proud. Jake, it was electric, no pun intended. We're gonna go all over the FanFest takeaways. We're gonna sprinkle in some of the roster updates that we just got live off the press. For folks who are tuning in live, welcome back on a Monday. Let's have some fun. If you guys have comments or questions, put them in the comments. We're on Facebook, Instagram. We are also going live right now on YouTube as well as on Twitter. Don't be a stranger. Be a friend of the show. Let's have some fun. But yes, Jake, dude, yesterday was so much fun. There were so many people there. Parking lots were full. Oh, I think it's about 30,000 strong. We got to see some live action, huh? Live.
Yeah. I thought you were going to just talk about how the Offspring concert was.
For folks who did not go, somebody ate a live beetle at the Offspring
I did
show.
see that video. I did catch that video. It's like,
wow, that's impressive.
Man.
Somebody must have been hungry. Didn't want to pay those $16 for the beer.
Anyways, Dan, you were there yesterday, so saw the videos coming through from a multitude of different aspects. Yes, we had live practice. It seemed like this was the longest one. Even Staley was even relegating so much as like a game type of scenario where there was a little bit of a halftime, a little bit of a break. Then he brought players back out to continue practice. I know there was a lot of aspects of the kicking that didn't end up going as well as all of us hoped. Again, place your bets on that. At this point, flip a coin. But yeah, from 50 feet view where you were at, what were some of your biggest takeaways?
Ooh, okay. Biggest takeaways. Number one, offensive rookie of the year, Justin Herbert, is on the money yet again. Justin Herbert looked so good yesterday. We'll get into details if we want to later. Justin Herbert looked great. Offensive line, first string looked pretty darn good, aside from one or two plays on the interior. Joshua Kelley had a day yesterday. Showed hands and some moves with his feet. Love to see catch out of the backfield, especially in traffic. Looked good. A couple scary things with both Kenneth Murray and Corey Linsley. Luckily, they are both okay, or at least okay enough to where it's nothing serious. Keenan Allen is still breaking ankles. Mike Williams had a great day yesterday. Overall, honestly, it was a success. We even saw Asante Samuel Jr. with some great plays. And also, again, he's a rookie, guys. And so he got beat on double move by Mike Williams, but you love how he reacts to it afterwards. Overall, great turnout. Great plays on the field. A lot of takeaways that I put on my Twitter for folks who have not seen. I put play after play after play for lots of video. But overall, I think the biggest takeaways are Justin Herbert is the real deal. Nothing's wrong with him. Offense and defense are making each other work. Offense won yesterday, though. Not going to lie.
Yeah, it seemed like the last 2 days of practices from everything that I was hearing out of FanFest and then the day before, that the offense really was starting to click. Dan, when we were there, the offense was barely on the field on Friday. It was all special teams duty, so we didn't even really get that opportunity to see them. And then everything leading up to this over the last couple of weeks has obviously been, the notion has been that the defense has been winning these practices more. And yeah, the offense has gotten theirs, but it seemed like Justin Herbert came out to FanFest to play. What was it, 3 touchdowns that he ended up putting in the end zone? So it was nice to see who he distributed it to. Yeah, as you said, it looked on the money. So if it's any indication as far as anybody that's worrying about it, I would put those fears to bed for the time being. Nothing to worry about right now with Justin Herbert.
No, not at all. For folks who are live, bring your comments. We will bring them up.
Mr. Haglin, good to see you, sir. How the hell is Mr. Steve Haglin?
Oh, are we there? Are we there?
Yes, live TV. Good job, Dan.
No, that was not me. Something happened. I'm blaming the interworks or something.
I was still moving. I was still fine.
Oh, fine. Whatever. Stephen Haglin, thanks for joining the show. What up, fam? Shout out to LAFB. We've also got Anthony Hopper. What's up, fellas? Friend of the show. This is super fun. Thanks for joining in. We got Carlos coming in talking about Justin Herbert, saying Justin seems to just use practice when he gets the game time reps. He seems so much more decisive and aggressive. Yes and no, to be honest. He's pretty darn good in practice, too. I think we just have a very high benchmark for what we're hoping to see from him. But he is a gamer. He's a winner. I'm not worried about him. Carlos Bustamante, apologize in advance if I butcher this name for you. Justin Herbert, probably the ultimate gamer quarterback. I can't remember seeing a quarterback who just makes game time look effortless. So many quote-unquote off-day narratives blown up over 3 days when he turns it on. And again, folks who have said off, I can't speak for all of them, but I can speak for folks on this network. Off does not mean bad. It just means not perfect. And again, that speaks to that high ceiling we have, high bar. Justin Herbert has not looked bad by any means. He just hasn't looked perfect. But he was damn perfect yesterday until Jalen Guyton dropped a pass, although it technically wasn't really even a pass because he got sacked on the play anyways. But still, Justin Herbert is looking just fine. One thing I will say, Jake, you and I have talked about it a few times. You've heard of a few other folks talk about it too. There's a lot of opportunity for tight ends on this team. No different yesterday. You saw Donald Parham and Jared Cook flying, and both of them catching balls deep down the field. And Donald Parham almost had the play of the day. And it was the throw of the day by Justin Herbert deep in the end zone. I think it was about a 25-yard throw, effortless to him. Only place the 6'9" man could catch it. He dropped it, but the tight end group, he was perfect. And we're going to see some plays that we've never seen from this tight end group go further than we've ever seen, especially since Gates. Hunter Henry is not doing these routes. So tight end group looked good. And then if only Ryan Dyer is on with us today, Jake, he's not because he's probably incredibly tired from all the work he's done. Austin Proehl.
Or he's at home basking in his Austin Proeller Express train that he has created and continued to hype up over the last 2 weeks.
Yes, Austin Proehl continues to dominate special teams, continues to dominate slot position routes and things on offense. Did another ton of snaps yesterday. Looking good, man. They are all looking good. So I know I threw a bunch of kind of quick updates and stuff out there. Jake, any of those that you wanted to kind of touch on first as something that you saw watching from afar?
I mean, it's once you had to get past the injury scare of Kenneth Murray, practice really seemed like it started to go on. And again, I wasn't there, so of course I'm following everything, just fingers crossed for that dreaded 6-letter word that we don't like to talk about. And unfortunately, we ended up having 2 scares with Murray and the Linsley situation. But thankfully, after Staley's comment saying that if it was a game type situation, it would have been different, that these guys would have gone back in, it was good. And when you look at it from everything else, obviously Justin Herbert was on the money. It was nice to see him get certain guys involved in the offense. Nice to see certain guys make plays. The Jared Cook aspect, I'm still going to pound this to death right now. I think that Jared Cook is going to have sneaky good fantasy value in this offense with Joe Lombardi as the offensive coordinator. I think it's going to be a very underrated free agent signing in the long run, especially if you get in the red zone and you start putting Jared Cook and Donald Parham in at the same time. Look out. I mean, mismatches galore that are in. The possibilities are endless when you're talking about the weapons that are a wide receiver, but now look what you could possibly have as tight end. I mean, this red zone offense could be magic. We've had enough of stalling in the red zone. We can move it fine between the 20s, but why can't we put it in the end zone? I think that those problems are going to go to rest very, very quickly here. So much better chances of the Chargers putting up 7 than they will be of 3. Defense, wow. Your boy, Dan, boy.
Talk about him.
Mr. Chris Rumph registered 3 sacks yesterday. I can't remember which quarterbacks he did it against. I believe one of them was Stick. I couldn't remember if he got 2 against Stick or 2 against Daniel, or how the rotation ended up going, or if it was 1 against Costello. Forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn, because obviously I wasn't there. But your boy got some sacks. I think Bosa was in on 1 sack, if I remember correctly.
I believe he was.
Tillery, I think, had a sack.
Cortez Broughton got a sack.
Oh, Cortez Broughton. That was the other one I missed, yes. But yeah. And then,
Defense,
of course, Derwin James picking off a pass. Hello.
Technically, that was also a sack before, but still, he picked it off, took it to the Partmans without the A. Love the way he says that, by the way. Shout out Blake Mullinger. Yes, defense is so much more electric with Derwin out there. And Jake, I'm going to make this awkward for you. Steve Haglund put out there, doing great. Dan definitely frozen.
Do you want to build a snowman?
I told you so. You were frozen.
Play?
Not that frozen, Dan. Shut up. Not that frozen. Never that frozen.
Carlos Ramirez. I can't wait to see T. Billy out there again.
Amen.
You and me both. Blue Deftone. Shout out Justin Herbert for MVP. There actually, Jake, were MVP chants when he was at the podium yesterday. And man, did that give me chills. I was loving every minute of it. Craig Smith. How rude of him.
What's up, Craig?
Hi, fellas. Bonafide friend of the show, Mr. Craig Smith in the house. Love it. Jake, Mike Williams looked great yesterday.
Mike Williams has put together a string of good practices lately.
Yep. This whole wide receiving core is looking better and better. And Brandon Staley talked about it on his post-practice press conference. Try saying that 5 times fast. This is the deepest wide receiving core he has ever coached. Did you hear that, Jake?
I did hear this.
What did you think? Do you agree?
I mean, we've been talking about this it seems like for the past couple of weeks when we did our wide receiver breakdown. And now, God, with the emergence of Austin Proehl, that we at that point in time, we really weren't talking about him a lot. And it's been such a seismic shift with a few surprises in there. when you see how much Joe Reed's workload has been scaled back and how Austin Proehl has risen over these last several weeks. KJ Hill is still working into, now he has to contend with Josh Palmer for the slot receiver position on top of battling for snaps as on special teams as well. But, I mean, this turned out completely different on the back end, Dan, than either you or I predicted. No. I'm talking on the back end. I'm not talking at the top. Tyron Johnson looks like he's solidifying himself, as I said, early part of camp for wide receiver 3. I think that could possibly change between him and Josh Palmer. Hey, you can never have too many wide receivers in this game. And much to Staley's comments, the Chargers have a plethora right now. So it's a great problem to have.
I distinctly remember when we talked about our wide receiving depth chart on that episode before we got in training camp, my sleeper pick to win out the wide receiver, the last position available at wide receiver, was going to be Austin Proehl.
You did say that.
And I think he's got it right now. I don't see how he does not make the team. He's looking that good. I think there's a skill set that he brings that nobody else has on this team. And I don't necessarily know if they need the other skill sets from the other guys. There's a little bit more redundancy there. But we'll get into that in the future episode. Dukes 101. Shout out. Thanks for joining. Go Bolts. How does Naz look? Nas Adderley.
Yeah.
Nas Adderley, our boy, friend of the show. If you haven't seen our episode that we had with him live, well, it wasn't live, but we had him on our show. Check it out on YouTube. Great guest. Nas looked better and better yesterday. There was one play, I put it on YouTube or put it on Twitter if you haven't seen it, where he could have lit up. I want to say it was Justin Jackson, but he pulled up. But he wishes that was game day because he is finally healthy, ready to go. Nas and DJ, can't wait to see those guys actually play next to each other. Shout out to Jake. Shout out to Sweden. Marthenian. Cheers from Sweden. Love your casts.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Love it.
I love that.
Thank you. That's awesome.
We have a question here, or a statement about Cook from Philip Casey A. Calloway. Do you think A is just a nickname, or is that his third middle name? Philip Casey A. Calloway.
Hey, man, some people have 4 names as part of their full name. Remember
Including
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis? Hey, remember that guy?
Look at you pulling that out of the grass.
Some people have those type of names, and it's awesome.
Yep. He says Cook will be such
Calloway. It's a good sounding name too.
I agree. Cook will be such an asset in the red zone. He says he has the presence to shift coverage. I agree. I saw Jared Cook make several plays yesterday that there's nothing defenders can do. There's one play where I think Justin Herbert threw like a 10-yard out to him. He was covered, still made the catch. But if Justin Herbert just looked right, there was a wide open Joshua Kelley that could just walked in. But I digress. I'm going to put this live, Jake. I did not see this. I'm hoping you did. Did you guys see, this is a question from Blue Deftone. Did you guys see the Justin Herbert interview with Mina on ESPN? Tom Telesco was on there as well. It was cool. I'm really hyped for the season! ! Did you see it, Jake?
I didn't see it. I think that this was actually broadcasted yesterday, right after FanFest concluded, but I did not get a chance to see this yet.
I didn't either. So Blue Deftone, if you want to pop up some comments of what you did see, we'll be happy to talk about it. Jake, we have somebody in here. We're going to be talking about the depth chart. Carlos asked us, did you guys get a chance to see the unofficial depth chart? Yes, Jake has. We'll be talking about that here probably in about 5 minutes or so. So don't worry. Stay tuned. Jake, what do you think of Joshua Kelley as RB2? Is it going to happen?
Well, I mean, we'll talk about it in a second, but I think lately over what we've seen from him in practice, up until recently, you didn't really see much from the running back group throughout the first, beyond Austin Eckler and beyond Justin Jackson. The biggest competition that we were all watching was Joshua Kelley versus Larry Roundtree. And there wasn't much noise for them throughout the first week of training camp. But now over the last couple practices, it seems like Joshua Kelley has slowly started to pull away just a little bit. So I still believe that this is going to be a training camp battle that's going to be fluid throughout these first 3 preseason games and throughout practices. So it'll be interesting to see if that ends up shifting or if that ends up staying pat throughout this preseason.
Yep. Joshua Kelley looked good. SD Fishin comments, how's the running game? Lombardi scares me. I don't know why Lombardi scares you. Lombardi does not scare me. Jake, does Lombardi scare you?
No, I mean, I understand there's some reservations that people have had about his prior coaching experience, but...
Like Detroit?
Yes, to use it as an example. Coach Lombardi has come out and said that he wants to use Austin Eckler in a Alvin Kamara type of a role, which if you're looking to draft Austin Eckler in your fantasy league, that should be music to your ears right now. It should be music to your ears. Dan, you were talking about the chance for Justin Herbert for MVP that were taking place in SoFi. Unfortunately, I did also hear about a string of boos to not just one individual, but 3. And when we're talking about the kicking competition, and I saw your videos when practice really hadn't gotten underway, I had saw that Mike Badgley hit, what was it, a 55-yarder? I think you had that up. That
was in practice. That was in practice.
That was in practice. But were they actually, was it just him kicking it, or were they actually doing, was everybody on the field? They were doing it. Okay.
That's literally everyone in my section was like, wow, he made it. We were all just assuming he was going to miss it.
So we
took
note
was
of
like
that.
bad, and then okay,
right. But what was it? 3 for 6 or 4 for 6 that he?
I think he was 4 for 6. I want to say I think he went 8 for 10 total, but there was like one bad stretch where I think he was kicking 4 or 5 in a row, and I think he went. I want to say it was either 2 or 3 for 5. So, I think it was 3 for 5. Vizcaino, I believe, didn't do well. Kissman,
no,
it was not.
He was, I think, 3 for 6, and then Kessman came up and he was only 2 for 6. So
yeah, Badgley got the first reign of boos, and they all got boos at one point. And for folks who are poo-pooing the folks who were booing, didn't mean to rhyme, but for those folks who are booing, just remember how much pain and agony that these fans have had to go through in the last few years, watching these kickers literally lose them games. And so, do you think the fan base and this team wants to fix the damn problem? Absolutely. So, yeah, they're booing. They're passionate. They want someone to fix it. And damn it, if they see it happen again this year, folks are going to riot on the streets. It wasn't good. Now, Coach Staley talked about afterwards, it's just starting. It starts just heating up. They have to do more than just field goals, although that's a huge, huge deal. Right now, I don't see Badgley making this team. I like the leg of the other guys more than him.
Wow. Because I had read that there was 3 field goals that Badgley had kicked that were under 50 yards, and those were 3 of the ones that he had missed.
Yep. All the ones. It was not a good showing. It wasn't. So
at this point, if you've placed your bets on any of these 3, at this point, just flip a coin, man. Blindfold yourself, throw a dart at the wall with 3 pictures of the kickers that are available. And honestly, I don't even know what to tell you. I can't even put any good money on this. Even for the guy that I ended up picking, Alex Kessman, it doesn't even look like that's going to come to fruition. So if the Chargers aren't there already as far as their fan base being frustrated, I swear to God, they are one missed kick away from ending up the way Chicago was with their kicking situation, with their fans saying, to hell with it, we've had enough, get off the field.
Yep. No, it was not a good day for the kickers, but at least it wasn't a real game. That's the silver lining. Also, one of the things that was kind of tough was watching. We're going to go negative, then back to positive. So we're going to talk negative just briefly about the injuries that we saw.
Pessimistic is my middle name, so I'll be right at home. Go ahead.
And then we're going to get into how awesome it was to see some of the Bolt fam out there. But first, Kenneth Murray trips on the sidelines. Awkward. I put the video of it from my vantage point on Twitter. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was when I went back and looked at it, but live, it just looked awkward. Yeah, I didn't see if it was an ankle or a knee thing, but when I saw it and I saw him down for 5 minutes, I was like, this better not be an ACL, MCL knee thing. That's what I was worried about at first. So then when I saw him get up and kind of walk around gingerly a little bit, I was like, all right, at least he's able to walk around. And then he went and grabbed his helmet. He's listening for all the plays. He kind of stayed out there. He's high-fiving folks, which made me believe it wasn't going to be that bad. Like, he didn't break something, or else he's not going to be walking around, kneeling, doing stuff for the team. Still worried about the knee thing, but then Brandon Staley came out afterwards and said it was not that big a deal. And if it was during game day, it probably would have been a different story. Same with Corey Linsley. Corey Linsley, I think, just got mixed up in a bunch of traffic. I think he got his foot maybe tweaked or something. Again, super worried about that. You didn't see that one nearly as easy as you did the Kenneth Murray one, so I don't think that many folks live saw it. But yeah, it definitely changed my mood for a bit, because like, if you lose those guys like that, it's like, really, again? But thankfully, Brandon Staley came out and said both of them are okay and should be fine. But to turn this thing around, Jake, it was so fun to see Bolt fam out there. I saw so many of you guys that you came up to me, I came up to you, that we have not met each other. Diehard Bolt Club. I saw folks there. I saw folks from Locked On Chargers that were there. I was talking to Tyler Lawrence from Shock Therapy, also editor for LAFB. I probably saw 15 to 20 people easy that I knew. Sean Merriman was there. LT was there. Got some video with him. That place was popping, was electric. It was super cool. And I think, to be honest, yesterday there's a lot of trepidation, Jake, because I think a lot of fans were like wondering, oh crap, like, is there going to be nobody there? Are all the stupid no fan jokes going to continue? Blah, 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 blah. But when I pulled up, I'm like, dude, this parking lot is full. Like, where am I supposed to go? And apparently that was like an issue everywhere. And then you see the videos of just like scores of people going in. You see the video from the concert. You're watching all of these guys where, like, when they brought everybody out of the tunnel, like, that place is going nuts. When DJ got an interception, that place is going nuts. And the cannon, by the way, is so much louder there than it is at the other two stadiums. So I can't wait to see what that place looks like live with a rockin' fan base full. But it was awesome. It really was like bittersweet to kind of see, like, we are out here. And the amount of folks that have come for a random Sunday afternoon scrimmage about the Chargers, I think says all you need to know about this squad. Question comes in from Zap Brannigan, 83. What's the buzz about them outselling tickets compared to previous years? So earlier today, on a call with Roger Goodell, hosted by Haley Elwood, to a subset of Chargers fans, there's about 100 people on the Zoom call. Roger Goodell, I might butcher this specifically, but Roger Goodell said that the Chargers have sold more new season tickets than any other NFL team.
Spring it on with 40 to 70% off almost everything at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com. Matching styles for the family are on sale too. Shop it all through April 12th.
So hold on to that for a second. And I've also gone 90% to goal of tickets sold. And the goal was to sell out. So they have sold more new season tickets. I don't know what quote unquote new season tickets means. So like, I don't know if Rams are new season tickets because they haven't sat in SoFi before. And if it's going from, I don't know what that means. But the moral of the story for me, my big takeaway was Chargers fan base growing at a rapid clip. This whole Chargers have no fans, Chargers aren't going to be able to sell. Stop. Like, they are outperforming every other team in terms of growth. Now, one could say, well, yeah, they had nowhere worse to go. True, but they are doing it. So the narrative that they can't or they won't, put it to bed. So that's that one. Question here. We'll go rapid fire here for a bit so we can get into the chart.
Yeah, I was just actually going to ask you to do this. I want you to go down, because I see these comments in the ticker as well. I want you to literally go down these next few comments. So starting up with Bolt Up 2000, at what point is it time to panic about the kickers, do you think? Yeah, you could show fair, you could show some fair concern right now. Panic time comes in that first regular season game, because when that first one goes wide left, wide right.
Badsie went wide left a few times.
It's gonna be anarchy. So it's on the cusp of of having to go through that. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
shout out Bolt Up 2000, by the way. Saw him at FanFest with his family. I believe it was on Saturday before I was stuck in traffic for 10 hours. What's up, Bull fan? Nice to see you. Okay, Jake, here we go. Rapid fire. You ready?
Go down to Carlos Ramirez.
Okay.
Because all these are relevant. Did they switch kickers? Did they switch holders during the kicking? I don't know. Maybe somebody was out there with the Buffalo Wild Wings button, that just hits it and then forces the kick to go wide left, wide right. That's probably what's been happening with the games anyways. Dan, go down to Gustavo's comment. Badgley for coming. Okay, so Jorge has a few of these, but watch how his narrative changes really quick. Badgley for comeback player of the year, because he also makes two really good points here in a second. Gustavo, what's up with the kickers? Could it be coaching or are we cursed? Look at Younghoe Koo and Josh Lambo did better in Jacksonville. I know. Why the hell did we? Of course, it's just the Chargers type of luck that we'd have two kickers that are now flourishing that are no longer on our roster. Time to go to Caleb Sturgis? It just might be in the next couple of weeks. Who knows? It is just insane and palpable that everybody just doesn't want to deal with this kicker situation anymore. Least of all, me.
Herbert should be kicking, says Zap Brannigan 83. Have Herbert kick. I believe he means to say Nate Kading 2.0, Will Schupa. Do you think Chargers fans are nervous and scared about this damn kicking unit? And no, I believe Brandon Staley, to answer the earlier question about do they change the holders, I believe that Brandon Staley mentioned that he wanted everything to be consistent and the same. So all of the holders and snappers were, I believe, according to Brandon Staley, all supposed to be the same. They did that for consistency so they can actually get a real-time analysis of these guys. The wind, I don't know. It was a Sunday. Maybe Sundays are their unlucky days. I don't know.
That's a horrible thing to say, actually. Are we cursed by the football gods that Sundays are our unlucky days? That's just bad, man. Bad.
Yep.
At this point, I know Chad Ochocinco is a huge FIFA fan. I know he did it once in preseason games way back when, but hey, he's got a leg. Come on. Find a soccer player. Give me Nigel Gruff out of the replacements. Let's have him kick some damn field goals.
I will say I went to go check out the seats earlier in the off season, and my wife went and tried to kick some field goals. Harder than it looks.
But still, man,
I know they get paid to do it. I'm just saying, like for folks like I could go out there and do it. I think you're wrong. Blake comes up with a good point here. I say we just cut all the kickers and go for it on fourth every drive.
If it comes down to it, that may be the logical solution. Who knows?
Give him Adderall.
Who knows? Who knows?
If anybody has any tips or advice on what we can do for these Chargers, please let us know. We've got some Ray Finkel shout outs here. Maybe
I'm not sure how that would better the kicking situation.
True.
Even Laces out. Even Laces out, he can't make the damn field goal.
Yeah, Hydro Chronic, thank you guys for all the updates. You are very welcome, Hydro. Very nice. For show, Derwin. Everybody's excited to see Derwin comeback party. Shout out to your mom, 911. I wonder whose mom he's referring to. But it kind of makes it... Bet my car on a DJ comeback potty. I believe that's player of the year.
Or that, yeah. I was going to say party, but hell yeah, let's throw a comeback party for Derwin James. Hell yeah.
Yep. So Jake, we're rounding out. One of the things we wanted to talk about today was the depth chart.
Yep.
Chargers just came out with a new depth chart for the first preseason game. You got to see it. Let's discuss it for a few minutes here. Chargers released it earlier today. Jake, I'm going to let you take the reins here. For those who are live, you're able to see this thing on the screen. Jake, Key takeaways, things that you saw from the latest depth chart that was just released.
I mean, if we've been following everything from what we've seen in practice thus far, there shouldn't be many surprises here. But you look at this, and obviously the first one that jumped out to me was, okay, so Joshua Kelley is ahead of Larry Roundtree as it is on the depth chart. So he has, as of right now, RB3 for I'm assuming this upcoming game against the Rams. Larry Roundtree is at RB4 and Darius Bradwell's at RB5. I still think that this camp battle is going to be fluid throughout. Recently, Joshua Kelley has started to pull away in practices. Looks like he's gotten the better results of the snaps that he's gotten in. And this makes sense to put him at the RB3 at this point in time. Do I think that this has the potential to change over the next 3 weeks? Yes. Yes, I do. So this will be an interesting matchup to watch, and then to see what Larry Roundtree does with his game reps when he finally gets in there. Because in all honesty, we haven't heard too much about Roundtree thus far in the preseason. So I'm interested to see what he looks like when they finally let him in the game. The other thing that caught my eye is if you notice here in the middle of the defense, when you see these ors in between each one of the columns. So you have
clever.
You have Drew Tranquill or Kaiser White. So on the depth chart right now, it has Drew Tranquill and Kenneth Murray as your incumbents for the starting middle linebacker positions. And then you have with Drew Tranquill and Kaiser White, it's or. So I'm interested to see if this means that this is Drew Tranquill's job as of right now. Are they going to be rotating this heavily to just get a mixture of the right combinations? How frequently are they going to be mixing Kaiser White with the first team defense? Because he has been playing with the first team defense recently. So I'm interested to see what type of combination they end up coming up with there and how long this rotation will last throughout the season. And then the same thing for correct me, fix me, Dan, on the pronunciation of was it Google? Because it's so small, I can't see it just to say the name. But Chris Rumph, and say it, Dan.
I don't see where you're looking. Chris Rumph.
Chris Rumph's camp battle.
Or Amen Ogbonaminga? Is that what you're talking about?
No, not that one. The or. Come on, dude. Read left to right. Thank you.
Hey, his name was below it. Relax.
Same situation. Sorry, I'm nearsighted. I can't see that far.
Did you also see that Uchenna Nwosu currently starting edge? Both folks were talking he might not be.
I mean, the way that this lines up is that Cairo Fackrell is behind Joey Bosa, but this is why I'm interested in this, because it's another or situation to me. From everything that I've heard on Chris Rumph, I would have thought that he would have had a little bit of a leg up on this scenario. So I'm interested to see, again, how is this rotation going to work between the second and the third team? And thank you, Jorge, for pronouncing it correctly.
Everyone together. Ogbonaminga.
I always do the wrong thing first when I look at someone's name and then I just try to pronounce it. And then because this looks so far away to me, I can't entirely see it. So I wasn't even going to try to make myself sound stupid or give Dan any more B-roll footage that I have of mispronouncing people's names.
You made me do it.
Exactly. So that's part of the story. And the final takeaway that I'll take from this is that if you go down to the specialist part of this depth chart, there is a name that is, I guess not now, but is completely absent from the specialist, and that is Joe Reed.
Gone.
Austin Proehl has officially unseated Joe Reed from any special teams duties. Joe Reed is not in there as a punt returner. He's not there on kickoff duties, and this is where he was last year. It's just insane to me that throughout all these practices and with all the emphasis that's been put on special teams, you heard things from Nasir Adderley, KJ Hill, Austin Proehl doing returns, not one sniff of Joe Reed when this was one of the biggest things that he did while he was at college. So this is extremely notable to me that he has literally been relegated as what does it look like now?
At least 4.
Yeah, wide receiver 4 for where he's positioned on this. I mean, technically you could
kick returner 4.
Yeah, kick returner 4. If you were looking at the wide receiver depth chart, it could be a hell of a lot lower than that.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
So Austin Proehl has come in and has taken this job away from Joe Reed.
As of right now, kick returner 1, Nas Adderley. Number 2, KJ Hill. Number 3, Austin Proehl. And punt return, KJ Hill 1, Austin Proehl 2, Jalen Guyton 3. Austin Pearl was last on everyone's list, except mine and Ryan's and Jake's. Up until training camp started, then he shot up like a rocket. Now he's up to second on kick returning, third on Austin Pearl. Look for him to continue this comeback trail. I predict he will be number 1 by the time this is over in that punt return slot. He's got 2 slots to move up. Jake, did you notice that Asante Samuel Jr. is currently CB2 outside behind Chris Harris Jr.?
Well, that's one position that you have to kind of take with a grain of salt, because depending on how many corners you're running on the field, how are you looking at this? So, and this is, I mean, in my opinion, you're not putting Brandon Faison over Asante Samuel Jr. as far as the depth chart goes, but this is just the way that you have to lay it out. So yes, if you're running 2 corners on the field, I still can't see if it's Michael Davis and Chris Harris out wide. Hell no. Even though if it was that, you'd probably be putting Asante Samuel in the slot, because those 2 are virtually interchangeable. However, not as productive as the other. Chris Harris does most of his damage in the slot, not so much on the outside. Asante Samuel Jr. is definitely much more versatile as far as what he can do on the inside or the outside. But yeah, the corner one it's kind of one that you have to read between the lines a little bit. I know it's laid out this way, but depending on how many DBs you have on the field at any given point in time, this isn't necessarily read like that.
Yep. Nope, you're good. Trying to think any other big takeaways. I see Mark Webb, Alohi Gilman are both your safety 2s.
Makes sense.
Ben DeLuca is in 3.
Or Ben Lakuta, if you're reading this.
Thank you so much for that. And Jake, probably biggest surprise, Justin Herbert is QB1.
Holy shit.
Hot off the press. Yeah. So any other big takeaways off of the depth chart? I know this is early. We're probably going to see this thing shift as we continue. But that is going to be depth chart updates.
Yeah, and even the kicking chart was accurate, as much as it pains me to say that, for the order that they had between Badgley, Vizcaino, and Kessman.
Vizcaino. We also got help on that.
See what I mean? I can't do this. Vizcaino. I apologize. I'm not doing it intentionally, but I feel like Marshawn Lynch when he announced the first player in the NBA draft. I'm sorry. I don't mean to do it intentionally.
Good. Jake, let's do rapid fire on some of these comments so we can get through them. Make sure we shout out all of the fam that has been in here with us. Let's see. Chris Hump. Not quite sure what that reference is, but
Chris Hump.
Awesome.
Chris Hump.
Are we having joint practices with the Niners this week? Is that this week, Jake?
I don't know if that's this week. I know we play them in the second preseason game. I'm not sure if that's this week.
I don't
believe so.
We'll get back to you, Zap. Your mom 911 again says interior defensive line getting pressure, and it is happening.
Man. I'd like to have this person in our comments every time, just so I can continually hear you say the name.
Yep. Head coach is a doppelganger from Rivers. Do you agree? Did he look like him?
No.
I don't either. Jorge Rodriguez, KJ Hill might just make the team.
Yeah.
He might.
Yeah.
He might. Will Schupa says Austin Pearl, I believe, looks like the next Tim Dwight. Will Schupa again talks about Madden 22 ducks Herbert at just an 80, which how is he just an 80, by the way? That's insane. Do you think we should trade for let's see, where to go? Do you think I missed it? SD Fishin asked, do you think we should trade for CJ Henderson?
No. Mm-hmm. I mean, is it enticing? Sure. I mean, probably 31 other teams would want to trade for CJ Henderson right now. But I think the Chargers, I'm not going to necessarily come out and say that they're fine or that they don't need the help. But, I mean, it's an interesting thought. But what are you planning on giving away for him?
Exactly. You guys think Vizcaino has a lead over Badge?
Right now, that's the one that's neck and neck. Vizcaino. There. I had to do it and correct myself.
You did it.
That's definitely the closest competition now. So if you placed your bets on Vizcaino, then feel good about yourself right now. But at this point, with the kicking situation, like I said, flip a coin. I have no clue who's going to come out on top.
No clue. Do you think Josh Palmer is going to end up being higher on the depth chart than KJ Hill? I mean, I know this is an easy question, but
no, and no.
No,
I just don't. No. Do I think? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said it the flip side. Sorry.
I was like, oh, Jake.
Sorry, my fault. See, I'm just having one hell of a podcast today. Josh Palmer will be over KJ Hill. Sorry that I heard you wrong.
No, you're good. That's okay, Jake.
The route tree for him is much more versatile for his ability to play on the inside and outside. I still believe now, as I've said it multiple times, that Josh Palmer was the shot across the bow that is going to replace Mike Williams on this team, because I still don't believe that he's going to end up coming back after this season. And I think Palmer was the exact type of replacement for him. And look, everybody's been amongst the hubbub of everybody talking about Mike Williams and the expectation for him to take over that Michael Thomas role. Actually, the guy who could be that guy is Josh Palmer, because his route running and his ability to gain separation on multiple different areas of the field, he's got that. So the early leg up for the Michael Thomas-like receiver stands with Josh Palmer, not Mike Williams.
I think I agree. We are closing out a live recap of FanFest.
Jorge, I know. I'm sorry. It's a Monday. What can I say? No excuses. Play like a champion.
No excuses. Right? 1% better every day. Folks, if you are watching live, if you can, go on to YouTube right now. If you're watching on YouTube, if not, go on YouTube, open up a new tab, click that like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more new shenanigans that we do. I wonder what's going to butcher next. Jake, do you think we're going to see any starters in the first preseason game?
This is a good question. Staley addressed this after FanFest. What did he say? Just depending on how practices go this week, that's going to determine how many starters that we see. I mean, yeah. You know, you're going to see Herbert. I mean, we would all love to see Herbert. Does he really need to be out there? I don't really think that he does. Does Eckler really need to be out there? No, I'd actually be more interested in getting Justin Jackson up to speed, playing more out, see what this running back competition between Kelley and Roundtree ends up playing out. Your wide receivers, hell, I wouldn't actually mind sitting Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. With all the receivers that you have on this roster, just let the rest of the guys go.
Well, I think that Staley did say something that points to that, where he said the guys, I forget exactly how he phrased it, but basically the guys that we still need to assess are going to play. So to your point, what is there to assess with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen?
Exactly.
In that, I don't see him playing. Like, I mean, same with Derwin James.
I get it. I mean, to me, Derwin James. This individual does not need to sniff a game until September. So don't even bother. I don't even care if it's the final preseason game and you just want to get him some in-game reps. I don't care. Don't even risk that whatsoever. No, I mean, of course you'd like to see just a few series with some of the starters just sprinkle in here. But at the end of the day, with the guys that we were just talking about, and that's just on the offensive side of the ball. What do you really need to see? What truly do you need to see from these guys? So no, it's in terms of evaluating and developing a little bit more, if that is what we've learned from Coach Staley throughout his press conferences and what he wants to do. And there's plenty to evaluate from this roster if we're talking about the second and the third and even the fourth stringers at some position. Yeah, let's evaluate them and let's see what they have in store. So no, I mean, I wouldn't expect to see more than a small handful of starters at most in the game.
The only positions, like if you think, let's go through this real quick. The positions that I think there are still analysis to be done in terms of the depth chart. I don't necessarily even think we need to do anything with quarterback. I think we're good there. Running back, I think we're keeping 4, so I don't necessarily think we need to do much there in terms of I mean, unless you just want to talk about depth chart, I think we're going to keep 4. Wide receivers, I think we need to start like the last 5 of them, not named Keenan Allen or Mike Williams. And honestly, I think Josh Palmer is going to get more reps than anybody else, but that's the group that needs to get figured out. Tight end group, I'm curious to see what happens with Steven Anderson. So that the end of the tight end group, I think we both know that Cook and Parham are there, but what happens after that?
I still think they keep 4. Wouldn't surprise me if they sat Cook and just started Parham at the position.
I'd love to see the entire offensive line one rest, except maybe Filer and Abuche. But like honestly, I have faith in them to where I'm happy with them. I'd like to see the second and third string offensive line play every
Give
damn
me some
snap.
more of Hymas, man. I want to see some more in-game reps, him going up against opposite competition for a change. I'd love to see more reps for him to get.
Yep. And I think on defense, the biggest competition so far right now are going to be kind of like the safety 2 position. So like the Gilman and the Ben DeLuca. And then we're probably looking at like the, I guess, defensive line. But not like, I mean, I guess we're pretty set at defense, barring injury. Like we're pretty set. There's not much that can go around except maybe like it could be CB2 versus CB3, but like I don't think that's going to change much. I mean, it's going to be all interchangeable anyways. So kickers, obviously, cycle all of them through. I don't even want to try scoring touchdowns in preseason. Just kick anytime you're in field goal range. Like just keep kicking. I don't care. Just figure it out. That's all I ask. Jake, we're going to do a short one this time. I know we have gone long a few different times. Honestly, we've gone longer here than we thought we were going to, but we couldn't not answer the questions and comments that were coming. Jake.
It's probably good that we stay short, considering the fact that I've embarrassed myself enough today.
Hey, you and me both. I cut out on live TV, and all of a sudden I'm sitting here like.
But see, that's not you, sir. Stop that. That's not you.
Jason Moore makes a roster over Prohl. Anthony Hopper, I'll bet you a Brewery X 6-pack right now that you, sir, are wrong. Hit me up on Twitter.
Interesting thought, considering that Moore
made
the team last year, and so do I. But not the way that Prohl's been utilized. Can't see it.
It would be, in my opinion, I think it's between Jason Moore and KJ Hill. That would be the one to watch. All right. Well, live show Monday night. I think it's the first time we've done a live Monday night show. Can't wait for the next one. Monday, will we actually talk about it during like a preseason game maybe? But in the meantime, if you have not already gone and clicked the like and subscribe on this video and to our podcast on both YouTube as well as on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever, check us out. Thank you guys so much for listening and for viewing and taking part of these live. We actually are having a lot of fun doing this, and we kind of are going as we speak, and we're trying to figure this out. So we appreciate your patience as some of the technical difficulties are getting ironed out, but we are doing our best to bring this to you. We can't go out without talking about our great friends at Manscaped. Jake, save 20% and free shipping using the code LAFB20 for all of your male and female grooming needs. Do you have the shirt on today?
I do have the shirt on today. It's there.
There it is. There it is. They get video too. Manscaped. Again, go to manscaped.com. Free shipping, 20% off. LAFB20 is the code, along with Brewery X, Charger Bolt Family, friends of the show. Charger Bolt Family now is on Twitter as well. Check them out. They're a great Facebook group. Stop by and say hi. And then Jake, UFC Fit in Temecula. I'm actually going to be going to the gym here later tonight because I need to get some recovery because I'm struggling. If you have not signed up for a gym or looking for a new spot to go to in the Inland Empire, check out UFC Fit. They have a great staff, great recovery room, awesome pool, steam room, sauna, you name it. They got all of your gym needs. Anything else, Jake, you want to tell the good people?
No, I've embarrassed myself enough. It's all right. It's all right.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm totally fine.
Okay. Hogwatch, apparently, we'll end on this. Hogwatch says, go, Bolts. Come on the hog. Watch, lads.
Did you actually try to sing that right now? I swear to God, you were about to sing that comment.
I could have.
Do you want to?
You should have just went with it, man. You stalled. at come on the hog.
And Jorge says, go to sleep, Jake. You need all the rest so you can get more into the nitty gritty, more specific, and get all of your facts straight. Because, Jake, you must be perfect or else you can't do this.
Hey,
you've got to be perfect.
God forbid.
Can't believe you. All right, for Jake Hefner, you can find this lovely, handsome man at Jake T. Hefner on Twitter.
Every time,
you can find myself on Twitter at Chargers Homer. Check us out, LAC_Unleashed. Find us on Instagram as well as Facebook, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcasts. Friends, thank you so much for joining, and we will talk to you next time on Chargers Unleashed. Let's have a great week. Let's watch this team rise. Shout out Bolt fam everywhere. Thanks for all of the fun at FanFest. And we will talk to you guys next time on Chargers Unleashed.